Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Barrens Chat podcast. I'm Sada. With me tonight is my co-host Guck. This is a podcast about World of Warcraft by two guys who play.
Thank you for watching, and remember to rate and review us on Apple Podcast, or you can check us out at baronschat.podbean.com or on Twitter at baronschatpod.
Well, Guck, you and I both doing a full clear of MC. Hopefully this week you did your first Onyxia clear. I am 60 and currently trying to finish Onyxia Attunement. I've had a lot of fun this week, and considering going back to retail, just casually to potentially level another class. Well, what have you been up to?
Yeah, surprisingly, I've been doing a lot of that as well. I spent some time doing retail. That's something that I totally did not expect to get into. But I went back and I did my islands. I did a heroic warfront. I did a mythic plus 10. I cleared the board for some daily emissaries. And it was exactly like it was when I left it a few months ago to play Classic. Nothing has really changed as far as the gameplay. The reward system is the same, and while there aren't any of the annoyances that you encounter while you're doing Classic, I mean, come on, I can fly to a world quest where I can just obliterate the quest mob, get it's accepted and turned in immediately, and then I fly to the next quest. Super convenient, right? But obviously, it's just not that rewarding. So, I'm excited for 8.3, and that's something that we talked about a lot last time, but I'm really just kind of checking into retail to keep my neck level up to speed, and just so I can go into 8.3 raid ready. I'm not really enjoying the content in the meantime.
Yeah, I logged on briefly, and I started flying around, and I looked at the World Quest rewards, and I was just saying to myself, like, why the hell do I want to do this right now? I could get raid ready, but there's really no point. Whatever I'm doing right now is going to be obsolete a week after the new patch comes out, and it makes me just not want to play it.
Yeah, I'm expecting them to hopefully continue to implement the Azerite knowledge, which is the same system as the artifact knowledge was in Legion, where every week after the reset from a new patch, they will decrease the amount required of the Azerite power to level up your neck. But going into patch 8.3, I want to be able to at least equip the fourth essence. So you have your major essence and two minor essences right now. When 8.3 rolls around, there will be a third minor essence that you can unlock, and I'm not sure if that requires level 68 neck or above. I know the last piece of the neck that you can get in 8.25 is at 67, and that's just for an additional 3% stamina. So I want to at least be close to 67 when 8.3 rolls out. I'm anticipating that if the artifact, not artifact knowledge anymore, Azerite knowledge, if that rolls in, that the requirement to get to that first essence slot will actually be kind of low. Something that Blizzard likes to do when they roll out a new patch. They make the first few levels that you need to get in order to access the new system pretty easy to get, and then all the levels after that will be difficult. So I'm hoping that, maybe just to gain access to that slot will be easy enough, and I'll be as raid ready going into 8.3 as I possibly can be. For 8.3 raiding, I do plan on tanking, but Sod, are you set on coming back and trying to raid DPS in retail? How sure of a return are you going to make?
Honestly, I have no idea. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna come back and not Mythic Raid unless something really grabs me about the new patch. But given the fact that it's still BFA, it's still the same systems, it's still the AP grind and whatnot. I'll likely just log on, do a normal clear or two, think, hey, this raid's pretty cool, maybe try to get into it, and then end up hating it in a couple weeks. So I hope I can get into retail. Like gameplay really is way better, and it really makes me want to play retail, but I just see no point in it at this point. I'm still very invested in classic. Every little upgrade I make to my character, it's a very slow process, but it feels like incredibly rewarding. Whereas like I can just go to a world quest and get a free purple in BFA, and it just feels like nothing. So I'm still on the hunt for that first purple in classic. I don't think it'll come tonight, given the like my status in the raid and that I'm rolling against 10 different mages. But we'll see. Maybe I'll get lucky. I'm not even overly into classic right now. I just like the game and I like the progression and the game design. So hopefully retail will fix that soon, and I'm more than likely just gonna focus on leveling characters so I have options going into the next expansion.
Yeah, that's something that's going to be rolling out with patch 8.3. There are going to be some class nerfs. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of really important ones. I know Brewmasters were going to be taking a nerf, a few nerfs to, I think, stamina and physical reduction from our stagger. But I mean, these are all changes that are necessary. You'll see typically at the end of an expansion like 8.3, we'll see some nerfs and some balancing, but they won't really do anything earth shattering. And then when 9.0 rolls around, the really big picture changes that needed to happen will happen and then some in a 9.0 setting.
Yeah, I mean, it'll more than likely be like 9.0, just doing all my pre-expansion prep where when I'm like wholly invested into BFA, like just getting myself ready to go, trying to earn some gold, make like minor adjustments, pick my main like feel out how like obviously a lot of the new systems and talents are going to be in the game. We're probably expecting a level squish too, right? I mean, we haven't really talked about that, but that'll probably already happen by 9.0 or with the 9.0 patch. So that'll more than likely be like my return to WoW, but given the fact that it's all in preparation for a new expansion, it'll likely be like I'll get on here and there and I'll just prepare to level my character, right? Get those goblin glider kits, get like I like to have flasks and a few augment runes for my first day or two in a new expansion, and that'll more than likely be how my BFA playing experience goes for the rest of the expansion.
Yeah, you always make a point of having all of those classes ready, and you do. Are you planning on also min-maxing different races? Because the new allied races actually have some really overpowered racials, namely the Vulpira getting that extra Hearthstone, I think is pretty sweet. They also have, I think, the first time they're hit by an enemy, they heal for 5% of their max health. So that is interesting, and there's some way to play into that for PvP, certainly. And then if you are thinking about Alliance, I know you have some Alliance characters, but you might be switching them back to Horde. Mechanomes are probably going to be really great as a Professions alt. So yeah, what are your thoughts as far as min-maxing allied races or other races? Because I know you min-max your number of tunes.
Yeah, so more than likely, I'm gonna move my Alliance Warlock back to Horde where it originally started, and I'm gonna delete the ugly ass Nightborn that I made to reserve my name back on Mal'Ganis where we play, and I'm probably just gonna I'm probably just gonna get all my current classes that I have at 110 to 120. I might I like to have Alliance there, but I won't be playing Alliance in the next expansion. Like my friends play Horde. I'm almost done with school, so like it'll be easier for me to commit more time to gaming and be like a little more hardcore than I am right now. So I like more than likely like next expansion will be like my time to shine and just enjoy the game and play it the way I want to play it and min max my characters. I have all the allied races unlocked except the new ones, and I'm sure I'll do the rep grind to unlock mechanomes just because I like to have that stuff available if I want to play it. And maybe if there's time and like I'm on top of my game with leveling and I'm not hating myself, or like I have like a good Netflix show to watch, that's when I do a lot of my leveling. Like instead of like if I'm not running keys or anything like that, and I won't be because there's no reason, I'll be watching Netflix and leveling a character, and that's what I do in classic right now. Like I'm watching like Black Sails on Amazon Prime, and I'm leveling and all like just here and there casually, like for like an hour or two at a time, and it's going pretty well. So that'll be what I'm doing in retail. I would like to get a second 60 in classic, but I really I'm just so torn on what to play because it was gonna be warrior, but there's so many out there right now. I think I might just go shaman, but we'll see.
Shaman wouldn't be a bad alt. I'm going for Druid for my alt. Originally, I was thinking Rogue, but kind of the same thing. Rogues aren't necessarily overpopulated, but they're definitely a strong, maybe third or fourth most played class. I would say probably third after Warriors and Mages. So yeah, I'm gonna do my Druid to hopefully get some good herbing and skinning done. Might do herbing alch. We'll see. Yeah. So for the remainder of the week, we don't have too much, but you mentioned it at the top of the show. We're going to be going into Molten Core today. Actually, kind of soon as we're recording this, we'll be heading in to do the final two bosses. So what are you kind of expecting as we get geared up to do these?
So what am I expecting? I'm expecting disorganization. Initially at first, I don't know how many people can douse right now, but I know that'll be like a a big priority for our guild, and like it might take a little long to get it set up because only a certain amount of people can douse, so they might have to keep going to and from. I think Ashara is where it is, and I would expect to kill it. Like I mean, think about how easy the run went last night, and if we were a little more organized, we probably could have prepared for tonight even more. But it is what it is, and I think I would expect two kills tonight on Domo and Rag, and I'm pretty excited about it. I don't really have any expectations to get gear. I haven't gotten any gear. You got Obsidian Edge Blade last night, which I think is really cool and huge for your DPS.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. That was my arguably my highlight from last week was getting it, and that happened just yesterday. So everything that happened last week pales in comparison to yesterday, where by default, as the only two-handed spect warrior, I got the two-handed sword. I mean, I'm going to go two-handed fury eventually once I get my hands on a good enough main hand, but in the meantime, this is going to be a great weapon. It's going to be phenomenal in PvP. It's my first purple. It looks dope. It's a wonderful fucking place to be. It was a huge upgrade. So yeah, I'm just thankful to have something. What I don't want though is for me getting this random. Like, it's not really random. It's a kind of random purple. Me getting this purple counting against me getting serious loot down the line because I'm probably not going to be two hand spec forever. So I hope this doesn't count against me early on. I don't think it will, especially because it was literally going to be vendored if I didn't get it. So I'm pleased.
Yeah, I would say you're all set. And the fact that somebody like voiced up and vouched for you in the middle of the raid so everybody could hear it, I think that was huge too. I mean, hear it. Jesus. And I think also too, like the fact that they're rolling on loot, like I mean, you could get very lucky and get two pieces tonight as long as they're not best in slot for the tanks.
That's right. If the tank gear drops, it's definitely going to go to the tanks because we haven't gotten these bosses yet as a guild. So if anything drops, it's probably going to be an upgrade for them. But yeah, I mean, we're still free roll on main spec drops, so I'm hopeful for that. I'm hopeful for you to get some purple shit too. You had opportunities to roll on two different pretty decent main hands last night, right?
Yeah. So it was the third time for our guild that the sorceress dagger dropped. I've lost it all three times, and then they loot counseled the the Azure song Mage Blade, which is best in slot, so understandably, and it went to a raider. Didn't go to the mage officer. I don't know what he has, but it went to a raider. So, I mean, that's cool and understandable.
I think they had sorceress daggers, those daggers that dropped earlier. I think they had some purple already
Yeah,
equipped.
I didn't expect it. It would be ridiculous of me to expect to get that item. I think Dire Maul releases tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm excited for Dire Maul. There are new items that can come in as your pre-raid best in slot. New items that can even replace some raid items. Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I haven't gotten like really deep into the loot. I know there is a ranged weapon out of Dire Maul East that has 1% hit chance that I want to start farming. But yeah, I haven't dug too deeply through the loot table. All I know is that it's going to be great. I did watch a couple jump run guides, and I'm going to try to figure out how I can work that into my gold farm. But yeah, Dire Maul coming out is going to be great. We're desperate for some content. It's going to be a nice thing to add to the farm list too, because like Dire Maul, Molten Core, and Onyxia are going to be on farm for the remainder of the phase, which is going to last until sometime near the end of the year. And adding Dire Maul to that mix is going to be it adds, even though it's just one instance, it adds a lot because it's a very big instance.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at the gear that much. I think there's only like a couple things in there that I need, but it's just something to add to it. I think Classic is always going to have issues with not having a lot of content for people to run. It's basically just going to be your farm content, and then like if you feel like PvPing, you can do that. And I think that is like its weakness, and at the same time, I think it's its strength, right? Because whereas in retail they're trying to get you to have to play the game all the time, but in Classic you just kind of do what you need to do for the week, and any extra that you want to play is just time that you want to invest into the game doing something else.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that philosophy is a lot better. And I mean, the metrics kind of mirror that as well. There are a lot more people playing Classic, and it does have to tie into something that we mentioned earlier. It's that, the investment versus reward. There's a very low investment in retail in a lot of the content that they give you, and the reward is often kind of hidden behind, instead of like an effort gate, just a time gate. And the rewards, no matter how good they are, they don't feel good. And then you look at Classic, where it's slow and steady, linear. You're putting in time. You're dealing with understandable amounts of RNG, in some cases not so understandable, but it's a part of the game. And the rewards are always appropriate. It just feels good when these things happen. If you're in a good guild and the gear distribution is fair, getting items can be one of the greatest things. So yeah, I agree. I'm we've talked about where we want to see retail go ad nauseum with this stuff. Where else do we go with phase one? What else are you looking to get out of phase one?
Basically, I think this is it, right? Like, there's gonna be people that complain about the lack of content in Classic, but I think it's fine. I think like I'm basically just gonna try to get as geared as I can on my mage, and I don't really need Phase One to last so long that like I get every single piece. Like, if I am not hitting all my best in slot, then so be it. Like, that's fine, and it's really all about phase three for me. I know the honor system comes into play in phase two, but I'm really looking forward to the battlegrounds. So, phase two will be nice with the introduction of the honor system and the world PvP. But for me, I like messing around in the battlegrounds with a handful of guys, and if you have a small group and can see if you can win a couple games, that's a lot of fun to me. I'm not gonna grind rank 14, but we'll see. I don't mind grinding like ranks one week. Maybe if rating is toned down and it's like a vacation week, or like there's Thanksgiving and we have a raid night on what would have been a Thursday, so nobody shows up. Maybe I PvP a little extra that week. You know what I mean? Something like that. That's pretty much how my Classic experience for the rest of the time is probably gonna go. And whatever they do after Classic, what everybody's speculation, like I don't care. If it's Burning Crusade, I'll play that, and if it's Classic Plus, I'll play that too. But it's gonna be probably the same way I'm playing Classic now. I'm not logging in like excessively every day, but I'm trying to get my stuff done. I'm in the last part of the Onyxia attunement, and then my mage is all set attunement wise. I could still grind out my pre-raid best in slot, but I haven't done that as much as I probably should, but I don't feel like I'm hindering the raid either. So we'll see. And until they get another mage that's better than me, or they yell at me because my gear sucks, then I'm probably just gonna stick to what I'm doing. Like, I'm playing other games right now, and I'm enjoying that too. I'm watching like the League of Legends World Championships, which is a lot of fun for me. I like League a lot, so I mean, that's really just my gameplay right now, and I'm having a ton of fun, like just casually logging into this game and not like hating my life doing emissaries and stuff like that. And I understand why they have retail the way it is, but I think they could learn a lesson or two from Classic and maybe try to create the best of both worlds here.
All right. We're about 25 minutes in, so I think the real bros have stayed and all the fake hoes have left. I'm gonna crack my Red Bull. See, I hope my mic can pick up on this. Oh yeah, it did. Oh yeah, it did. So you mentioned something about how you like BGs because you like having fun with a handful of guys, right? I just didn't know that you took that so literally that you like having fun with handfuls of guy. But I mean, hey, to each his own.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be a full pre-made for me to have fun, right? I can go in with like three or four of us and it'll be a good time. And that's part of the reason why I want to have a healer alt. I really like healing in BGs and allowing my friends to really shred people while keeping them alive. That's how I enjoy battlegrounds. I actually hate playing casters in PvP. Although I know mages are really good, I just maybe it'll be better in classic because not everybody has interrupt in their spell bar. So who knows? I might like it more, but I'm really excited for PvP, and I think I am gonna play that shaman and heal and give my boy the Wind Fury procs.
Dude, that's what's up. That's what I fucking need. Because I plan on going hard two handed into all of my PvP shit. Because it's all about those fucking big motherfucking cracks. Dude, I'm excited, man. One of the things that I'm looking forward to, I was looking at the warrior bis lists, and phase two, if I get up to rank 8, I can get gear that would replace the Devil Source set. So I'm glad that I can save a little bit of money. I don't have to buy my Devil Source set. I'm just gonna wait it out, do my PvP, which I'm gonna enjoy, and get gear as a reward for doing something that I enjoy, as opposed to investing all this money, delaying my epic mount, and literally buying gear that I will just replace, that I will just end up vendoring. It just, when it's so expensive like that, it's hard to defend buying it even though it's like really fucking good. The Devil's Horse set is really fucking good, but despite that, I am really fucking cheap.
Yeah, I haven't bought gear. I have the pattern for Robe of the Archmage, and I just haven't taken the time to level my tailoring to 300. I still have a little bit more Timbermaw hold rep to grind, and that's how I ding 60 by getting neutral and turning those quests in. So once that happens, my tailoring will shoot up. I could craft a couple things, and then I have to work on my enchanting. I've left professions so far behind that I have to level them all. So we'll see. Like Robe of the Archmage will be something that I craft because it's my best in slot for a really long time. So I'm pretty pumped for that, and to just have that item and be able to push out some serious DPS numbers and hopefully like really prove my name in this guild.
Yeah, dude, congrats on that. I managed to get the drop for the pattern, and we had gotten a random purple earlier while we were playing, and we just swapped it, and it was I mean, I'm just gonna end up selling Blood Razor, and I would have otherwise just sold the pattern. So for me, nothing has changed, and for you, you ended up getting a really dope piece. So I think that was a great fucking a serendipitous occasion.
Don't even know what that means. I also sent you Blood Razor too in for that. So I've been looking for like Arcanist like BOE gear on the auction house too, but there's so many mages on the server that I'll never see that. And when I do see it, it'll be so overpriced because of all the mages.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because the demand is already so high, and the supply being this low is just it's you're gonna have a rough time paying for shit. All right, yo, looking at it, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people who are in the raid group, not in the instance, and we have 4 minutes until the raid truly starts. I think our chances of getting going on time are low because the same thing happened yesterday, and we had to start pulling trash like 10 minutes late. But I think if people are brave, we could start the trash. What do you think, dude?
Yeah, I don't know why we don't start pulling the trash, right? Like think about when we were doing progression, right? we would pull the first boss at the start of raid time, not trash. Like people would be in the raid ready to go, and we'd pull trash ahead of time. That way, the second raid time starts, you get your first boss kill out of the way a couple minutes later than that. I think that is
Yeah.
it's probably the best way to do it.
There's no reason why if you have 15 people on and ready and they're just chilling 15 minutes before raid, why not clear the trash? One of the like it's not much, right? It's not a high percentage, but those BOEs that drop, boom, there you go. That's your little bit of reward for being early. You wait at the boss, and then once raid starts, boom, you pull the fucking boss. Assuming that it's not Prague and everyone's done their homework, you just go right in. And like Sod said, you start the raid with a kill instead of starting the raid with, all right, let's buff up this group, let's buff up that group. Okay, let's do water. All right, are we good? Okay, let's do summons. It's a huge waste of time.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, like, I don't know why, but this guild for some reason thinks it's necessary to have all 40 people here for trash. And maybe they're worried about rep, right? Like, I guess that could be a concern right now, but just pull the trash. I mean, people are going to get their rep. Like, you're going to kill trash. Everybody's going to get their rep. I probably have the least kills in here. I'm halfway through friendly, which means, like, people are going to be honored. So we might as well just be killing this trash and moving on to go douse the first flame so we can get going. Like, it's going to take us probably like over an hour to get to Domo, I would guess. And that's going to be a long time trying to keep your raid entertained, not killing bosses.
Yeah, and our Discord is not entertaining. It's only entertaining from a meta perspective of like enjoying how terrible of a discourse it is. Like there's no good conversation, there's no good jokes, there's no good roasting. It's just like people will speak up and say something like in either a cringy voice or they'll say something kind of cringy and then you'll just be like, "Oh my god, no." And very quickly, like the meme value wears off, and you just turn down Discord and turn up the music or the Netflix or whatever, and you just go back to whatever you were doing.
Yeah, I will have Discord 100% muted tonight up until we get to Domo and I have to listen for strats. I don't see a need in being in there, and it absolutely kills me being in
Here's
there.
what we do: we need to find the people that we actually leave unmuted and actually mute the 38, 37 other people.
Like there was a guy in in raid last night who was like, what do warlocks do on this boss? Just cast Shadow Bolt? It's like, guy, like he just told you what the strat was. Why do you have to ask this question before every boss pull? If he needs you to banish something, he's gonna tell you. Other than that, just Shadow Bolt like you do on every other boss.
All right, don't try to act all high and mighty. You fucking cast Frostbolt all day, all right?
I know. I'm not saying it's like riveting gameplay. You know, I've definitely voiced my concern that retail gameplay is way better, but it's like if they need me to sheep something, they're gonna tell me to sheep something. Right? Like he goes over the fight. So if you have a specific job, your name is going to be stated and you're going to be told to do that.
Yeah,
So I think people just overcomplicate the raid mechanics, I think.
right. Just like how you overcomplicated that word, right?
Yeah, how I overcomplicate speaking because I have a borderline speech impediment.
I honestly think that people listen to we're getting like fucking crazy downloads that I never expected. The fact that we've broken 2,000 downloads. Can you believe that, Sod? That our show's broken 2,000 downloads?
No, we've come a long way since like the 7 views on YouTube.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like this is fucking nuts. But we thank everyone. I don't think people listen beyond like 10 or 15 minutes of most podcasts. So I don't assume different from ours. I think we bullshit a lot more back here in the back end of this. I'm having more fun bullshitting because I know
Oh
we have
yeah.
a lot of good content up in the front half of the show, and I know people like that. But let's I'm gonna loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, like well, I mean that and then like there's really like a lack of content right now, like since the announce of like 8.3. So it's really just our gameplay and our experience playing
Yeah,
like
true.
each and every week that we go through it. But we have BlizzCon coming up in a couple weeks, and I mean we've already talked about that at nauseum. But so
Are you gonna do a virtual ticket? I've never done the virtual ticket before.
I never have, but I have to see what the hours are for it because I would like to, but I think there's going to be a couple of the events while I'm at work. Most of it takes place throughout the weekend, and whereas like I am kind of busy on the weekends, but like I could definitely like. What are you watching on Twitch with the virtual ticket? It's got to
No,
be
I
right.
think how they do it. It's actually on the Blizzard launcher because I've tried to look at some of the videos. It's on the BattleNet launcher, and it's behind like a sort of paywall. Like you can see the thumbnails and the titles and the description of the videos, but they're like BlizzCon Virtual Pass only videos. So I think you buy it through the Blizzard store, and then it gives you access to all of the video shit and whatever sort of digital content they have on the BattleNet launcher. And I think that also includes them as VODs. So if you're at work, you could come back later and just watch it at your leisure, just not when it aired. I think. I mean, I imagine that's how it works.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh,
virtual
well, then
ticket.
I'll definitely pay for it. It can't be that expensive. So
I don't know, dude. It's also fucking Activision Blizzard. It might be that expensive.
I know. Yeah, you're right. BlizzCon virtual ticket, $50. Jesus, it's more expensive
And
than I thought.
yeah, exactly, right? See, and that's for me what I really get out of that is access to information, right? I just want to see this I want to see firsthand the cool shit that they're doing. But then they wrap in those fucking digital extras, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like skins and pets and whatever the fuck.
Well, so like, I mean, I guess you don't play Heroes of the Storm anymore, but like, I could give two craps about Overwatch. Like Diablo, I definitely like dabble in. I don't like play it hardcore or anything like that, but that's a game that I'd be interested to see announcements on.
Oh,
Warcraft
hell
3
yeah. I would
and
love
WoW.
to see what they're doing with the franchise because the last thing they did was they had that shit announcement about Diablo Immortal and
Yeah,
and
they
nothing.
got booed out of the world. Actually, Blizzard
Yeah,
stock plummeted on that.
yeah, that was awful.
So we'll see. Maybe I'll buy some Blizzard stock before I go in before BlizzCon happens. I expect it to be a huge year. I'm looking forward to seeing all the announcements, and maybe I will get that virtual ticket so I can enjoy it ahead of time too, and maybe get not live updates, but as close to live as I'm gonna get.
Yeah, I mean, I've never done it, but every year I'm getting like more and more inclined to get it. I think I might get it this year. If you're gonna end up doing it, I might end up tossing you $25, and we'll just I don't know. We'll work out some way that we can both watch the videos. Maybe we'll
Yeah,
have you do a private stream of them because
yeah.
you're
Well,
definitely not allowed to just stream those videos.
yeah. Won't even have to be a private stream. It's not like anybody watches me anyway.
The self roast,
Yeah. So
the
well,
brutally honest self roast.
yeah. Hey man, if you can't be honest with yourself, who can you be honest with, right?
All right, there you go.
So we,
True.
we we started pulling trash at 9:04, so that's way better than we usually do. So there's some
Yeah,
encouraging stuff here coming out of our guild.
yeah, for sure, dude. And we're actually making moves. The problem though is we have to clear trash all the way up to Domo.
Yeah. And well, we have to clear trash up to I think every boss too, right? So we can douse the flames.
Oh, you're fucking right. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to be here a minute. And I think you mentioned this earlier. Not everyone is honored with Hydraxian. And I don't think everyone has those fucking. Even of the people who are honored, I don't know if they all have those quest items.
Yeah, they don't. But if you look at our raid, they have a warlock and two people waiting at the Bay of Storms to summon. So
Hell yeah.
we're at least prepared. It is going to take a little bit of time. We'll be short a couple people clearing trash, but organization, it was thought ahead. So bonus points for the guild that would otherwise seem incredibly disorganized. So shout out for that. That's huge.
Yeah. And I think being down people, it only hurts us because we don't typically have the full 40. We usually get like 37. So having three people out puts us a little bit further beyond a low point. But yeah, like you said, that's nice. This level of preparedness is something that we don't normally expect.
No, and I was like almost dreading tonight. I hope it doesn't go the whole 3 hours to kill two bosses.
Oh
I
fuck, it better not.
Yeah, yeah, I know, and I still have to finish my attune. I just have to kill the last boss in Upper Blackrock Spire,
Yeah,
which I
dude,
could have
we got to
did
get you in a
today.
Dracasath run. Honestly, there are constantly all of the groups that I've been in are full of rogues and warriors. So you will get into an Ubers group if you're advertising as a caster. But yeah, because of that, I'm fucking stapling myself to you, and we're gonna get into runs because I still need shit off of Dracasath. I need his ring and what else? I know I need his ring, and I know I need his waist. He's got a 1% hit chance belt.
Oh yeah, that's huge. I mean, I'd like to run like everything. Like like running strat.
Yeah, we still have to run Elbers to get our keys for Ubers. I have to get an item out of Strat. We can run Undead Strat for the fucking mount chance if we want to be real animals about it,
Yeah,
you
I'm
know?
definitely not farming that mount. I mean, if it happens to drop,
Well, I mean not to farm it, but just to like I need something out of Strat and we can do like Undead Strat, grab the Unforgiven boss and then go do the rest of
yeah.
it. Um But yeah, I'm down. I still haven't done the quest line through Scholomance to get Mira's Song, which is the best offhand, and that's one of the things holding me back from going to two hand spec. So I need to go and run Skolo, and I wouldn't mind farming BRD for the chess piece. Like there's so much classic content to do, but it's getting to be kind of grindy because it's all the same content.
Yeah, and I mean, right, like you don't need your pre-raid bis. This isn't like min-maxing like mythic rating where like, you literally have to min-max yourself perfectly to achieve your first boss kill. Like, I mean, I'm in here in like greens. I was in here at 58 and I have carrot on a stick as a trinket. I have a wand that requires like level 34. So, it you don't need to be perfectly geared, which I think is fine. I'll just get my gear out of Molten Core and like I'll get my attunements and I'll be able to enjoy myself. Oh, there's a BOE.
Yeah, that's true. I think pre-raid bis is kind of blown out of proportion. It makes sense for the people who get ready to raid before guilds are ready. There were people who leveled way faster than us that were, max level without a raiding guild, and I understand the drive to get your pre-raid bis then, but you are going to replace a lot of these dungeon items with purples, maybe out of Molten Core, but definitely out of BWL. Like it's only a matter of time until you replace these items. I don't really support dropping a ton of gold on items in general. It's hard to kind of, like defend that point. I think the one thing that's really important to spend gold on is the epic mount, but it's something that really does decide PvP fights, but I think only at the higher levels. Like, not a ton of people exist at those upper echelons. So it's for the typical player, I don't think it's going to be worth it.
No, it's not, and it's not even close to worth it. I'm not spending any gold until I get my epic mount, unless I get an item that is worth enchanting. And given that I'm a mage and I can clear lower level dungeons like relatively quick, that'll be how I level my enchanting. So I'm not overly concerned. I'm probably gonna make some gold selling those mats, hopefully, and that'll be my method of making money. I'm almost halfway to my epic mount, and hopefully I'll have it soon in a couple weeks. I also send you those elixirs too from the Timber Mob people.
Yeah, that was awesome. Those Winterfall Firewaters.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's nice. I think that may have also influenced how I got this weapon. So I come to figure out that the guy who spoke up is a guy in our guild who I ran an Uber's run with, where I was like second or third DPS and he was kind of first DPS, I would say consistently. And there were a few instances where he would die just from like, the standard DPS ripping threat or something shitty happening. And then I would just jab him and be like, now it's my turn to be the top deeps and shit like that. And I think that started enough of a rapport with the guy for him to toss my name in. Because he's not an officer, but he's someone that the officer corps looks up to in the DPS group. He's like one of the high performers.
yeah.
Like if we
That's, I
look
mean,
right now, he's over
he
there.
probably has a raider rank, right? So I mean, that's huge.
Yeah. He's one of the what I would definitely say a core player. So that was huge. Because after those runs, he was talking to me about my spec. I told him how I was too fucking poor to change out of two hand, and I don't have a good main hand, and all that shit. So he knew, and he fucking just dropped that little gem in raid for us, and here I am with my weapon, my first perp.
That's huge. I mean, think about that, dude, right? Like, just you got your first purple. I mean, we've gotten BOEs that we've sold, but you got your first purple to equip. Like, that is so awesome. That feels so good. Like, that's such a huge, like, progression point for your character where it's like purples are rare. Even if you're raiding every day for like 3 weeks, you still might only have one or two because there's so few and far between. It's 2 to 3 per boss that drop. You know what I mean? So that's so cool, and I'm so happy for you and your character that like you've put a ton of work into grinding dungeons, and it really like it must feel awesome to have a purple, not only a purple item but a purple weapon
A
too, which
purple weapon, yeah,
yeah.
and I think one of the nicest ones for phase 1 into phase 2 PvP because of the fact that it's got +8 weapon skill on it. +8 weapon skill from a raid perspective, it's awesome because it puts me under the defense calculator bracket that changes the way that they calculate hit chance, and I only need to get 6% to have all of my yellows hit. So right there, that's fucking huge. But then in PvP, I'm already set up with just this badass two-hander. So if I switch back to arms and a Mortal Strike build, I can just fucking dominate instantly.
Oh my god, another giant stalker's piece drops and both hunters are suddenly geared. That's getting disenchanted or auction host every single time it drops now. So if there's a few hunters in the guild, I mean that's telling you, man, if you play one of those male classes or leather classes that aren't rogues, you get a solid shot at getting a lot of gear really quick.
Yeah, I think that's the other class we didn't mention. It seems like there are no shamans, druids, hunters, warlocks. Like where are they?
Yeah, I mean we have 5 warlocks, and so I guess that's a pretty decent amount. But yeah, you're right. I think those are all few and far between. I don't think that's the case for paladins on Alliance. I think there's more than a few paladins. I would imagine there are anyway.
Yeah, well, I think that lends to their class, kind of flexibility. You can do a lot with a paladin. I think people like paladins just from their design. I think, despite being what I think one of the most cowardly mechanics, bubbles are, pretty powerful. So I can see why people would want to have it.
Yep. I think that's all I have for the night. I don't really have it. You got anything?
Yeah, I think that was a good episode. Yeah, I think that's good. We can call it here. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it as always. Remember to check us out at baronschat.podbean.com. Hit us up on Twitter at baronschatpod. You can send us an email at baronschatpod@gmail.com. All that stuff works. We'll see you guys next week.